very proud of our football team with a homecoming win. Very proud of our fan base coming out here. Had 29,000 fans on a cold, wet day in Boone. I think it speaks volumes for our program. But again, if you go back and look at the game, how we played a very good first half. Second half wasn't how we like it. We got outscored 21-10 in the second half. But our defense played lights out in the first half, causing 5 turnovers. Throughout the game, 5 turnovers. And then the offense capitalized on 4 of those with 28 points. So we ran the ball well. That defense played well. Special teams was a surprise in some ways. They had a very good special teams unit at Monroe, and our guys played well. We were down on average of 3 penalties on special teams to 1, and we had a few big plays in the return game. So very proud of our team, and we flipped the script, and we're on to Arkansas State.
Sean, the week after Louisiana, we spent a lot of time on, you watch that film and it's kind of extreme. What do you take away from it going forward? Same question here. You jump on Monroe early, you're up 42 at halftime. How do you use productively what you saw on film there and then try to translate that into tangible things that you carry forward?
Well, I think you go back and you look at the tape. Monroe came in here at 4-3 and had some big time wins, and they played very well at home. And Coach Bowden has guys play a lot of confidence, and our guys saw it on tape. And I mentioned all week to our players that practice habits become game day reality, and our guys had a great week of practice, came out and really showed what we could do. And we were hitting on all cylinders, all 3 phases of the first half. And there's still a lot of things that we have to get corrected. As good as it looked on the scoreboard, that we have missed assignments here, we can't get lined up sometimes, and those things aren't a big deal till they're a big deal. So we came in yesterday and addressed those issues and to make sure we have a better plan for Arkansas State.
When it comes to the combination of Nate Noel and Cam Peoples running together, at least statistically speaking, when they're both in the game, they both benefit. In other words, they're both better. Their numbers are better. The yards per carry are better. What is it about the particular combination of those two that you think really elevates both their games when they get to work at the same time?
Well, I think both running backs are very good players, and like you mentioned, they do complement one another. Cam is the bigger back who can get you the 2 and 3 yards, and Nate can take it the distance anytime he touches the football. But the one thing that keeps them fresh, I think that helps a bunch when they can't when one's not getting 40 carries a game. I think when you can cut that in half, they're fresh throughout the game, and especially the second half. But we're very proud we have those guys on our football team. We didn't play Daytrick this past week just for precautionary reason. He's fine. But again, those 2 are really good. We had 4 or 5 really good running backs in our program, and we need to get the ball to more of those guys throughout the game.
Looking forward to Arkansas State. At 1-7, clearly not the expectation for them. That's not the history of that program. They were picked to finish second in their division. As you guys have watched on film, what are you seeing occur there? And they're still throwing for 330 a game, so you understand that they're dangerous. Where is the line for them between a record that says that maybe they're not playing as well as their talent would suggest?
We had the same conversation yesterday, and again, we have a lot of respect for Coach Jones and Arkansas State, and they do have players, and they're very athletic, and they throw the ball over the field, and they have great players on defense. And for whatever reason, the record doesn't show of how good they are. But I know our players watched the tape yesterday, and we understand the magnitude of this game. It's another championship game for us. And again, we have to play our football. We have to execute and not turn the football over, give a chance to win on Saturday.
I know that one of the things that was a priority on Saturday against Monroe was running the ball, because that was an area where you could see that there was opportunity there. I would say the same applies to Arkansas State. What worked really well with the intentionality of setting up the run last Saturday that you feel like you can carry forward?
Well, I know going to the game, we knew we could run the football, and we came out in the first couple of series, and they gave us different looks that we have not seen on tape all year long, and we had to adjust from the sideline, really kind of go back and go back to our rules of, certain plays. It doesn't matter what they give you. These are your rules. This is your technique. And again, we didn't block every play perfect, but our kids played hard. Our running backs hit the hole hard, and it gave us a chance for success. But as good as the numbers were, there was definitely a lot of room for improvement. And we got those addressed yesterday, and we're moving on.
Sean, when it comes to the offense, these last two games, it really does seem like there's a rhythm to it now. And I know maybe part of that is getting Cam kind of back and play in, but I'm just curious if there's a thing or two that you've seen that's kind of allowed this rhythm to establish itself for this offense in these last few games.
Well, I think anytime you have Chase Bryce at quarterback, and it takes time to get your rhythm down with your receivers. And we had spring practice last year, and they worked on their own this summer. But it takes time, and I think Coach Ponce done a really good job with Chase and all of our coaches to really play within themselves. And you look out throughout the season that we were pressing some, and now we're letting the game come to us. I think that helps a bunch. But again, I think overall, offensively, we're playing pretty good right now. But again, I think our defense is playing lights out.
You mentioned Coach Ponce. How much of it do you think can be attributed to maybe him getting comfortable in the OC role? And I don't know, what his involvement in calling plays was his first time here. You could speak to that a little better, but maybe just getting comfortable as the play caller.
It does take some adjustments. It's no different than the head coach. When you're an assistant coach, you give suggestions, and when you're the head coach, you make decisions. And the same thing applies with Coach Ponce. That he would give suggestions when he was here, and now he has to make those calls. And again, I'm very happy with our team right now. He's doing an unbelievable job with the offense, but I think as time goes on, you get more comfortable and know what you're good at, and I think he's one of the best coordinators I've ever been around. I have a lot of respect for him and what he does, and we have to keep on improving this week.
After the Marshall game, you kind of issued a plea that a game like that should happen every year. Fast forward to now, they're going to be a conference mate eventually. I don't know, what's that say to you? Kind of what are your thoughts from then and now, the fact that they're going to be in this conference with you guys in the future?
Well, I'm happy that Commissioner Gill and Doug finally listened to me, that we need this game all the time. And I just think regional football is great for college football. You look at the teams come into our league, and what they say is going to be on the east side, that's within 4 hours driving distance. And I think it sells out stadiums. It makes it a little bit more interesting instead of traveling out west somewhere we don't have a big fan base, that we can get to games. And I'm happy they're here, and I can't wait to get started to work with Marshall.
Sean, can you just give a little bit of a breakdown of what Arkansas State does offensively, and then I might ask you the same thing, just defensively?
No, it's again, you can look at the tape, and they like to throw the football, and they have the Hatcher kid that transferred from Alabama. He was here last year. We've seen him on tape, and they got 6 or 7 receivers who can play anywhere in our conference. And again, they've got to put it together. And I just hope it's not this week, because they have a lot of great players, and their record does not indicate of how good they really are.
You're obviously focused on a football game on Saturdays. With homecoming, a lot of familiar faces were back here, and maybe a lot of them were seeing that new end zone facility and stuff for the first time. Did you get to interact at all, and just what was that like to see so many people back that maybe it was their first time seeing what the Rock looks like now? No,
it was great getting former players back that laid the foundation for this program. And I told the guys that, for greatness, the biggest key for greatness is responsibility. And those guys have a responsibility now to make sure this program stays in great hands and make sure we have the right facilities, the right budget-wise to really keep our program going on an upward trajectory. But it was great to see those guys, and they were very impressed with what we have here, what we're doing, and a lot of good conversations.